This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Canada. I am here with Clear Acceleration Inc. Since 2018, they've been helping you achieve consistent client growth while creating ongoing demand for your services and positioning you as the must-hire choice. I'm joined with the business advisor, coach, mentor, owner, Christine. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
You were formerly educated with an MBA at the University of Edinburgh, Scotland. You have studied abroad in international business in Germany. In the past, you have volunteered your time as you continued working in many areas of business as VP of Operations, Marketing Manager, Director of Business Development, as well as a regional sales manager for multiple companies. Share with me a little bit, first of all, how this passion for sharing your business knowledge came to be.
You know, it's an interesting story. I tell people right at the beginning, I never set out to mentor formally other business owners. I had a passion from a really young age for the world of business, hence the education and the worldwide tour I took across many different industries. But what I started to see was my peers struggling, and they were accidental entrepreneurs and didn't have the grounding that I had. And I said, there's nothing more disheartening and heartbreaking watching someone give up on their dreams. And so I started over a cup of coffee where it was like, maybe you could tell me what you're doing that's creating success. And at the end of the coffee, they said, it might take more than coffee. Would you be open to helping me mentor me formally? Because I really would value the expertise that you have spent a career building.
That is a great story. You kind of stumbled into it and realized people needed what you knew and the foundation you had. In business, you are either growing or you're slowing. Understanding how to attract these consumers, really strangers, and position yourself as the must-hire choice. Would you say this is more important today, maybe than ever before?
It is, and it's the thing nobody's talking about and nobody's actually helping people figure out. People get really distracted by the wrong things. It's like, let me buy leads, buy traffic. It's all of that conversation. And they said, if I just go back to my very first job out of university, it was in marketing. And it was like, how do we curate demand? How do you get the market that's already moving? How do you get them to pay attention to you? And if you can't do this, you will struggle. Whether you're a solopreneur or you're a multi-million-dollar business, your business is built on strangers. What's your plan to go make some friends? And right now, people are craving intimacy, conversation, connection. And while AI is awesome, it's not the smoking gun, and we need to be careful because people do business with people.
Definitely so. Let's face it, people are still searching for solutions every single day. This is very evident online. So the challenge is how to attract the right client who wants what you offer and is ready to invest today. Is this where you come in, and is this kind of the starting point?
It is absolutely, because so often people think, especially now, they're like, it's a recession, there's no money moving hands. And I'm like, wait, back up. In fact, in a recession, there's more money moving hands than ever because people are running out of runway more quickly. So they're more motivated. They're searching for specialists with specialist knowledge to help them get a special solution running and moving towards them. And I say to people right now, if you're in business and you're not being found, the issue is that there's not a client out there to serve. It's that your messaging or where you're playing and where you're visible is not the place where they are. We've got to bridge that gap. And if you do that well, you will carve out an exceptional business path for you to create impact and income.
Interesting. When it comes to scaling a business, how important is focusing on the right activities to produce results? Do you help kind of sharpen that focus for folks?
100%. People think business is really complicated, and we have a whole bunch of people that will tell you it is, except for me. I will tell you, business is in fact elegantly simple. That's what I've learned in my career, helping more than 400 clients. 2 things predict your future revenue, and only 2. How many people you know and how many offers you're making. If you're not dialed in to the activities that create that movement, which is ultimately what will build momentum, you are distracted by the wrong things.
For those that know what to focus on and they're doing it consistently, but still yet their actions are not creating the desired results, can that problem be fixed?
It can, and it often needs a second set of eyes or another opinion, because what's happening is you're like, I know what I'm doing and I'm doing all the actions, except for if the result's not there, something's off. Just by the nature of the equation, 1 + 1 is not equaling 2 or 3, it's equaling 7 or 8. So I always say to people, that's the time when you need to bring in either a mentor or consultant to say, let's actually listen to what you're saying, what you're not saying, and how you're saying it, because some small fine tuning can make all the difference between someone saying, I'm in the right space, tell me more, or you're interesting and I like you, but I'm never going to hire you. And ultimately, you want to be the must hire if you're in the business of serving other people.
Excellent. Honestly, just because we know what to focus on, for many, it does not always mean we are taking consistent action. Is this something common you experience, and do daily habits matter?
They absolutely do. And this is true. I said, your why has to pull you past convenience, because a business, especially if you're an emerging entrepreneur, happens when you choose to show up. If you are doing the hokey pokey, 1 foot in and 1 foot out, you're going to really struggle to see momentum build. You must get clear that you must be the engine. You don't have to go solo, but you must have that pull to say, this is not negotiable. And a big thing I work with my clients on is you can create any business you like to create the lifestyle you want. What are your non-negotiables? We have to focus there. And working in an accountability space, it's like, are we on track? Are the things we're doing leading us to the results we want? And if not, I get to be that really uncomfortable, great friend who says, bestie, eyeball to eyeball, what's happening here?
I mean, like you say, the hokey pokey is not a good strategy, obviously, for anything, especially in business. Your program focuses on 3 non-negotiables, which you teach are the foundations to create income and impact as a business. The first is building an audience and being seen as the go-to expert. Explain why this is critical.
Yes, sure. One of the things that I tell my clients all the time is there's 3 lanes of traffic. There's the slow lane who says, yeah, maybe one day I'll have that problem. It's not mine today. And businesses get caught talking to that slow lane. And they're liked and you're viewed as a likable friend, but there's no transaction and there's no movement. Be careful in that slow lane. The middle lane, I tell my clients, I said, this is where someone knows they have a problem. Patterns are human. We experience them over and over again. And if they're in a moment of white knuckling a problem and you're able to be visible with a guiding principle of staying here is optional, suddenly you have their attention and they say, tell me more. That is where you want to spend most of your day audience building. The fast lane on the other end, it's like the unicorn, and they do happen. But that's when they say, I already have a problem. I know I need help fixing it because the band-aids are not holding anymore. I have a short list of candidates and I'm ready to move and here's my deadline. That language in the slow, middle, and fast lane are all very different. You've got to dial this in so that you can truly see people move from the back of the room where they're watching and observing you towards the steps you're planting as the business owner that says, I now have the right service, the right offering, the right time, and the right results that you're seeking. Would you like to have that conversation? And if you do,
So really the second is marketing a message that resonates with your ideal client. I mean, ancient wisdom teaches know thyself. As a business, is know thy customer vital, and you help them craft that message.
for sure. And one of the big mistakes people make is that you forget you are serving often who you were. You do have to know thyself and thy customer. And what's really important here is to recognize what's the conversation that's happening around the kitchen table, the coffee shop, the conversation when it's unfiltered. You need to know where that is because that's the language that will resonate with your client, not where most businesses speak from, which is descriptive and also often in the place of enlightenment. Well, your client doesn't have that language. It doesn't have a recognition that I'm actually the person you're talking to. So you're entertaining, but not creating any movement. I tell clients in the messaging piece, you have to cannonball into the deep end and to start where they are. If you don't do that, you'll always struggle.
I mean, as a consumer, we all need and want a reason to act. Why is making an irresistible offer that last important step?
It's important because at the end of the day, people move for results only. And when the motivation, which can often be a line in the sand, perhaps drawn more than once or even hundreds of times, when they say, I can't stay in this loop anymore. And a recognition at that point, when you say, stay here isn't optional, would you like support? And here's what makes me credible, the right expert, the right guide. And they say, yeah, I'm willing to entertain that conversation. That's where the real magic happens. So you have to be visible, recognizing that what is the trigger point to get them moving, and make sure you have a solution and understand why you're the guide to help them get the result. But results are the only thing that they'll move for, not something that is just nice to have.
So definitely be willing to put that line in the sand. That's where the magic happens. I mean, these three foundations are the heart of the Business Scale Accelerator Mentorship Program. How do you deliver that program? Is this done one-on-one, in person, groups? Share with us how people get started and you're able to help them.
A lot of clients start with me on a one-to-one basis because we have to get the foundations right. Once the clients have built the foundations, often we get involved in masterminds with businesses that are moving at the similar pace. But at the beginning, it is best served eyeball to eyeball because we can't just stay at the surface level. We're going to make the same mistake that we're making right now, which is surface, top line. Where movement happens is at the heart, it's at the human level. And so I often bring clients in at a one-to-one capacity. We often work over a period of time because I tell you, despite what the gurus out there telling you, you don't build a business in a nanosecond. You build it through habits, you build it through audience building, and you recognize that the bigger audience you have, the more consistent you will be able to create income and impact.
So as you say, it's simple, or like you said before, elegantly simple. New business will be built on strangers. So an important question is, how many people are you meeting that have a need for your services? Would you say that many fail to even ask this question, and most of them don't even know the answer?
They don't know the answer, and then when they do start counting them up, they can often count them on their hands. I said, whoa, that number's a really small number. And in fact, that's dangerous because most people start to think it's a price thing or it's an offer thing, and they start to assume all kinds of problems when you have no valid tested results that you've measured that says that's in truth what's the problem. I tell most clients you simply aren't meeting enough people. I often encourage people to recommend meeting 1,000 people every month. And they said, I haven't got enough hours for that. And I said, you're assuming I'm saying one-to-one conversations. I'm talking about building an audience who you move from the back of the room to the front of the room so you have a conversation with a dozen. What can you do to build that dozen? You have to be looking at, I like low-tech strategies because I like people. People do business with people. So speaking, networking, and events are great ways to get in front of a lot of different people. If you can deliver a message that really says, it feels like you're walking through my brain, who are you? They start to move towards you. And if you have built a good ecosystem, they'll keep moving towards you so that you can really have the conversations with those that want what you offer, are prepared to move, and are saying, I think you're the right must hire. Tell me more. How do we do it?
So really starting that conversation. I mean, as we said before, consumers are looking for solutions. These offers that you teach your clients to create, I mean, they really become the roadmap to the results for the consumer seeks. If done correctly, they become the go-to solution. Is this process kind of exciting for you to watch? And have you seen that happen with clients?
It is, because it isn't about creating one transaction. I mean, I have zero interest in that. I want to see you learn to think forward. I want to see you create that roadmap. You choose the speed at which you create momentum, but it's honestly the most amazing gift to sit and be shotgun on somebody else's dreams, because every time that you have somebody you have a conversation with, you're like, this is magic. How can we create impact? And when I see clients do it over and over and over again, the lifetime value is hugely rewarding for everybody.
I mean, as a business advisor for over a quarter of a century, you understand we need both guides and cheerleaders on the pathway to success. That is who you are for many. For over 400 companies you've helped, helping them create impact and income to blast through the multiple six-figure milestone. Is this rewarding work for you to be a part of that for your clients?
It absolutely is. And I tell people, if what you're doing doesn't feel like oxygen, you have a problem. And this is what it feels like to me, because I said, I didn't set out to do this, but the moment people started to say, I would like support, and I'd watch them come to life, I watched them go to, it's possible, I think I could do that while I'm doing it. Look at the impact I'm creating because I am doing it. It just feels like breathing to me. It is so much fun. And I honestly think to business owners, please bring the fun back into your life. Bring the fun back into the business. Why did you get out of bed today? It needs to feel like oxygen. It needs to be a business that you create that said, who do I want to play with? Well, you want to play with those dozen people that showed up and said, I think you're the right person, tell me more. And every time that happens, I'm celebrating the beginning of a journey. At the beginning. How fun is that, right?
That is great. You have definitely found your passion. Keep breathing in that oxygen and helping folks out there. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is her website. On the website, basically you're going to see all the service she provides, from one-on-one to group coaching, as well as her podcasts, and inviting her to speak, possibly as a keynote for your group or your business. You can also see and register for upcoming events right there on the website as well. If you're ready to move beyond theory and ideas towards creating actionable strategies that build confidence and deliver results, the information is at the bottom of the screen. You can book a session right there today. Once again, that is Clear Acceleration Inc., helping you achieve consistent client growth while creating ongoing demand for your services and positioning you as the must-hire choice. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.